Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Testimony Tuesday. It's your girl, Raina. It has been a while it has been, but welcome. Thank you for joining in today. And today, I want to share, a little bit about, what has been going on in my life and what God has been doing. Oh my God, God is awesome. Let's get to it.
I've seen you move the mountains, and I believe I'll see you do it again.
Hello again. So I just want to share a bit about, just what has been happening in my life for the past couple of months. So in February, I got news or notice that I would have to leave, where I was living. That means I would have to find somewhere else. Reason being, it was a single occupancy, and my sister was living with me, so I would eventually would have to move into a bigger space for both of us. Um, but when I got the news at that time, I remember feeling disappointed. Like I was like, God, I knew that the Lord wanted me to move, but for some reason I was just comfortable. Like I never wanted to leave because I'm like, this is the ideal location. It's very close to work, very close to, shopping areas, the supermarket, everything. I can just get to and from, get to where I want to go in no time. So I'm like, this is the ideal location. I don't want to move from here. This or whatever the case may be. But what I realized in this process, it was more of me relying on what I wanted instead of what God wanted for me. So, fast forward to May thereabout. So I remember going to look at this specific place. It was, when I say beautiful, beautiful, and I fell in love. I fell in love with the place immediately. I knew that this is what I wanted, and I remember praying to God. And I was like, God, this is what I want. This is what I want. This is what I want, and not even asking the Lord, God, is this what you want for me? And I realized that that's something that we do often, we just, I don't know why, but we're always going before God with what we want, or is that we have our list already, our mind is already made up. We're like, God, this is what we want, and we're praying to Him, asking Him to make it happen, when that is not the case, because the Bible says, delight yourself in the Lord and He will give you the desires of your heart. Giving you the desires of your heart, meaning that He will give your heart what to want. So He will tell your heart what it is that you need to want when you delight yourself in Him first. So as I said, fell in love with this place, and I knew I wanted, and I wanted it bad. Okay, so after just going through the process, I remember applying for the apartment, but for some reason I wasn't hearing back from the lady. And I remember just kept, just because you got to be consistent. So I decided that, hey, I'm going to be a bother. If I'm going to be a bother, I'm going to be a bother, because I want this, and this is going to be mine. I'm going to make it mine. So I remember just just constantly calling, emailing, just reaching out, because I wanted the place and I wanted to know what were the updates. Is it available still? Is it gone? Whatever type of thing. And I remember just saying to God, God, if I get this place, I'm going to take it. I'm going to settle on this. I'm going to, this is what I want. And I remember not hearing from, the lady, and, being very disappointed, because, I really liked the place, and that was the only place that I saw where I fell in love with immediately. The aesthetics was just amazing. Um, but shortly after, not hearing from the lady, I decided to just to continue searching. And there was this specific place, like when I saw it, I was like, wow, this is beautiful, I like this. And I remember reaching out to my real estate agent because it was advertised on her website. And I remember reaching out to her and I said to her, could you assist me in getting this place? And she's very helpful. So right away she just ran with it, and she started to make the necessary appointments, telling me all the documents that I needed, everything, the whole works. So we got in the application. I remember shortly after posting the application, the place that I love, the lady reached out to me and she was like, hey, sorry for not getting back to you earlier, but we were doing some work on the place, and because of that we weren't able to reach out to you, or we were just focusing on getting the place in a state so that it will be ready for moving. And when I heard that, I was a bit confused. Why? Because here's a place I love, but I was starting to fall in love with another one. So I didn't know what to do. So I remember, call because I remember just, going to my mom and I was like, Mom, you know, this is what happened. And she was like, but go with the one that you love. You didn't say you said you love that one, go with that one. And I liked it, right? So that's the one that I fell in love with at first. So I was like, okay, all right, fine. But for some reason there was just this, something just constantly reminding me about, there was just this thing telling me that, listen, something's not right about this, because look into it, something's just off with the whole relationship. Because is this something you want to enter into? You couldn't hear from her. She basically turned off that phone. She didn't reply to your emails. She didn't she because in that time she could have said, we're currently doing some work on the place, it won't be ready until such and such time. So that for me, it just, the Holy Spirit was just bringing that to the forefront, and just asking me the question, like, is this a relationship that you want to enter into? And I remember saying to myself that no. And just remember saying to myself that this is a red flag. I don't think I want to enter into this. And but I just kept on saying, what, I'm just going to go with it because I need somewhere to live, because I had to move back home. I don't know if I mentioned that I had to move back home with my mom. So, and that's on the other side of Jamaica. Yeah. So I was like, I have to find somewhere. So, and I love this place, so why not? So fine. Anyways, I remember the lady, sending over the lease agreement and everything. And but my heart was just, I was like, what, I'm going to wait and see for the next place to see if I would get through for that. And I remember one of my friend, she was just saying to me, Reina, I would go with the other place, because for one, this place is not sure, because remember, you have to apply and you have to get through. This one you have already got through. The lady's basically giving you the place. Why, And I was like, yeah, I'm not worried about, for some, I don't know, for some reason I was never worried about not getting the place. I was more so worried about when it comes down to choosing which one would I choose, because I don't know, there was that fear of not getting the place. I was just more worried about which one would I choose at the end of the day. And I remember, deciding to, I was like, okay, I'm going to go. Before deciding, I got through for the place that me and my realtor decided to, apply for. I got through for that. I was very excited, but I was just thinking about it, just thinking about everything, and I was like, what should I do? What should I do, Lord? And I ended up choosing the one that I fell in love with first. And I just decided to go with it because I was like, for different reasons. There are different reasons why I decided to go with that one. So when I went with that one, no, I was reading through the lease agreement. There were a couple of stuff that I didn't agree with, so I was letting her know that I'm not in agreement with with these items. Everything else is fine, but these particular ones I'm not so you know yeah, I don't feel comfortable with it. And I remember there was this one particular one. It basically lock you into the contract for an extended period of time, and I never wanted that because if something comes up and I have to leave, I have to leave, right? So yeah, I never wanted to be locked in. So I remember reaching out to her after turning down the other place. I remember reaching out to her and saying to her that I'm not comfortable with this, let's have a discussion about it. And I remember she sent an email, but she sent a message, and in the message she was saying she would have to consider because other persons have expressed interest. I was like, what? Other persons have expressed interest? We're in agreement here. We're just finalizing the terms to the agreement. So how is it that other persons expressing interest, what does that have to do with our agreement? So immediately I was reminded of the red flags that I've been seeing. I was reminded, I was like, you know what, God, thank you for this. Thank you that this happened now and not after I signed the agreement and went into it, because I don't know what would have happened. Because what that does, it just shows you the type of relationship that you would have gone into with that particular landlord. And yeah, it's not worth it. It's not something I just see where in the future it would end up will become problematic. So I was like, you know what, I'm not entering into this relationship, so I decided to leave it alone. Anyways, there was something pressing on me to to reach out back to my realtor and ask her about the other place, if it was gone. And I remember reaching out to her in the morning, in the same night it happened. I remember reaching out to her, and she said that she's going to ask in the morning, and she let me know. So in the morning, I remember I felt so, I was just at peace, because it was like, I was like, no, there was something telling me like, listen, this particular place, this one is for you. And I remember in the morning reaching out to my realtor, just messaging her to did you get any updates? And I remember there was this particular form that I was supposed to fill out, but I didn't. And I remember just filling it out, getting the necessary information, and sending her an email even without her asking. But in my mind, it's like I knew that I would get the place. And I remember her just messaging me, and she said, well, Reina, because you decided not to take the place, they're moving on. And I didn't feel discouraged or anything in my spirit. Something was just telling me that this place is for me. In the evening, so said, so done. In the evening, while working, I got a call from this strange number. So I answered the phone. When I realized, I answered the phone, and when I realized it was the not my agent, but the realtor for the property, and she was saying, "Hey, Reina, I got." She was just expressing her disappointment that she was disappointed that I turned it down at first, and she just asked me, do you want to be reconsidered, do you want to be put back on the table? And I was like, yes. I was like, yes, I would love to be put back on the table. And she was like, okay, all right, fine, no problem. We're glad to hear that. And in the same day, she was, because what she told me was that so what she said to me was that they were going to have a meeting with the owner the following day. So they would just be presenting the short list of individuals that they think is best suitable for the place. I remember that very same, the day did not end without the owners expressing that they like me and they want me. And I was like, I was in all of it, I was like, no, God, this cannot be. It cannot be that, all of this happen. And funny enough, we don't celebrate the small things, or we don't see the miracle in the small things. We believe that miracles only come through healing and all of that. But when you look at how everything played out, I'm like, how can this be? Usually when you turn down something, it is automatically passed on to the next person in line. This wasn't the case. It was actually waiting for me, because listen, when something is for you, it is for you. Nothing, when I say nothing, nothing can stop you from getting what is yours. And can I tell you that even the lease agreement that I got, the date was for the Monday when I got accepted for it, the initial acceptance. That was the date on the lease agreement, and I was amazed. I'm like, God. And it's funny how God, just he just redirected my steps. I made a decision, which was obviously not the right move, but he redirected me to the path that he wanted me to be on. And what that taught me is that it's okay to rest in the Lord. Not saying that we should go ahead and make our own decision, but it's okay to rest in making a decision that you're not sure of. Because guess what? God will redirect your steps. He will order your steps. He will lead you back to that path in which He wants you, or the road in which He had planned out. Because remember, our life is already written. Everything, our story is already written. All we are doing is just living it out. We're just living it out day by day. Nothing that we do takes God by surprise. Nothing that we do throw Him off off guard. He knows what is going to happen, and He has made a way. He has made a way of escape. He has made a way for us to follow the path that He has for us. So my encouragement to you guys is just to trust Him. Trust Him in all that you do. And the verse that says, trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto your own understanding, but in all thy ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct thy path. And I think, and I believe that this was my testimony. Acknowledging Him, and He will direct my path. Even though I had my own idea of what I wanted, I have my own idea of what I wanted. God had to, because even with the whole situation with the place that I wanted, God had to show me why that place wasn't for me. Because if I had gone ahead and chose this place, I would have still, I would have been wondering, there would still be that lingering feeling of what if. But what God had to do was to clarify. He had to show me why that place wasn't for me. So even finally, after 4 months of searching, I now have a place to call home. And this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning, because I very soon I'll be coming on here to testify about how God has blessed me with my very own house. Listen, I'm believing God for great things this year and beyond. Listen, if anything else I've learned from this experience is that God is the God of the impossible, and that favor surrounds me like a shield. So my encouragement to you is just to walk in that favor, because favor runneth after you. Favor follows you as a child of God. Favor is upon your life. And if you walk in that confidence, if you walk in that knowing that you have favor, if only we knew what the Lord has in stores. Eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, neither has it entered in the hearts of men the things that God have in store for them that love Him. Listen, God is about to blow your mind in this season. He is going to do the miraculous for you. All he asks of you is that you trust him enough. Trust him enough. Remember, he is the author and the finisher of your faith. He has already written your story. Trust him enough to see it to pass. Trust him enough. Trust him enough to work it out. Trust him enough to allow you to live out that story that he has created for you. Thank you guys for tuning in and have a blessed week.
Promise still stands. Great